Very good evening to everyone, or good morning to everyone, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Krishna, and I am the moderator for this discussion today on the webinar topic Smart Personal Data Inventory and its Benefits. So, I think most of you here would have recently been aware of the Indian Digital Data Protection Act that came up in the month of August this month, and a lot of chatter around it in this industry, and a lot of discussion, especially on some particular features such as a consent manager, or maybe how to do a data discovery, how to identify the kind of personal data in your infrastructure. So this webinar today focuses on understanding those nuances, understanding how a tool will help you automate a lot of the mundane or monotonous activities that you would have had to do to comply with the provisions of this act. So the agenda of this webinar is to also help you understand the automation part of the product that is from Exterro, and at the same time, how does it relate to the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of India. Perfect. So a little bit about Tsaaro. If you are new to our webinars, Tsaaro is a data protection consulting firm, and we provide services around improving our clients' and enterprises' privacy and security posture. We are also partners with Exterro and help implementation of privacy automation platforms. With me, there is Mr. Satishprabhu Jayabala from the Exterro team. Sir, I will just pass it over to you. If you can also help our attendees understand a bit about Exterro and potentially talk a bit about Exterro and the problems that you aim at solving for the industry. Over to you, Mr. Satish.
Yeah, thank you, Krishna. So hello, everyone. Good evening. So this is Satish. So my role is I'm managing the product portfolio at Exterro. So if you look at Exterro, Exterro is broadly a software provider providing solutions for broader legal GRC problems, including litigation, forensics, privacy, and governance. So we have an end-to-end platform. So if you take privacy into account, we have an end-to-end platform where we help you to build an automated inventory of all your sensitive data. Then also we have a Tsaaro solution that helps you to respond to data requests. We also have a breach response solution. We also have a consent management solution. Yeah, I'm excited to show you as we move forward in this presentation.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Satish. So we've heard a lot about data inventories. We know what is a ROPA. It's been around since 2018, since the GDPR was enforced. And I think a lot of us are curious about understanding what is a smart personal data inventory and how does it exactly differ from the traditional personal data inventory that we create. So before that, I think a little bit about you and me as well on this session. For some reason, it's going towards the end of the slide for me. I'll just use my keys here. So my name is Krishna, and I'm a director here at Tsaaro. I lead privacy cybersecurity wings in terms of implementation, delivery, and I'm also CISM, CIPPE, CIPM, a few certifications that I usually sort out for consultants in this industry. And I've been in this space since the last few years, looking at the developments around data protection and the evolving landscape. And I'm very excited to see how the Digital Personal Data Protection Act evolves and accustoms to the requirements in India. So, Mr. Satish, I'll just pass it over to you as well. If you can also introduce yourself to our attendees here today.
Thank you, Krishna. So I'm Satishprabhu Jayabala. So I'm a director of product at Exterro. So as I said earlier, Exterro is a legal GRC software provider. So my role is at managing the requirements of the product, coming up with the product strategy and all of that. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for that introduction. I think with this, just a disclaimer before we move ahead with this session, that of course, every content or every activity that we talk about here, just is our views are personal. It does not represent our organization, and this should not be construed as legal advice either. So we are simply talking about the tool. We are talking about personal data inventory. There should be no misinterpretation or any codes that we are sharing as a part of this discussion. So looking at the agenda for today, we will start with a simple introduction. What is a smart personal data inventory? Because if you are a data privacy professional, I'm sure you have at least been a part of a ROPA discussion. If you've not done it yourself, I'm sure that you've been a part of it. And from a ROPA, a personal data inventory is the outcome of that activity, right? We get a visibility into the organization's personal data that it stores in its infrastructure. So how does Exterro exactly play a role in creating a smart personal data inventory, and what are the benefits of it? So that is something that Mr. Satish would cover. And sir, I would just pass it over to you again. If you can help us understand what is a smart personal data inventory and how does it complement the existing ROPA processes that we build as a part of our data privacy program.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you for that, Krishna. So basically, the USP of Extro's smart personal data inventory is that we have programmed a lot of regulations across the globe into the system. So as and when you start keying in all the processing activities or what you call it as ROPA, can automatically tell you, okay, these are all the different regulations that you are complying with, and this is the percentage of your compliance, right? So system is capable of automatically generating such scorecards. So this is one of the biggest differentiator of Extro's smart personal data inventory. So apart from that, if you look at it, we have embedded the smartness into multiple aspects of the workflow. So initially we start with building your data inventory. So we have a data discovery technology which can scan your systems. It can automatically identify what are the different applications that you have, and also what are the different sensitive data elements that are present in all those applications. So it can start from there. And so when you're generating the ROPA system, pretty much gives you a lot of suggestions, right? So these are all the applications that contain the personal data. You can quickly pick and choose the applications. And also there is a capability where you can where you can automate the data lineage as well. So by data lineage, what I mean is basically capturing the application data transfers, because if you look at these privacy regulations, understanding the cross-border transfers is very important. So once you have the data lineage, it's very easy to identify, okay, you are transferring the data from EU to US, you're transferring the data from India to UK, right? So likewise, you would be able to get an understanding of all those cross-border transfers. And also another advantage is that system pretty much gives you a regulatory ready templates, right? Say, for example, if you record that, okay, you have a data transfer from India to UK, the system automatically gives you, okay, what are all the lawful basis that is allowed, what is the transfer mechanism that you have adapted, right? So all of that system helps you to record everything. So once you capture all these attributes, so basically then you'll be able to generate the regulatory ready reports in a single click. For example, if you take GDPR, Article 30 is one of the important report which system helps you to generate in a single click, right? So yeah, that's the advantage of the smart personal data inventory.
Right. So, Mr. Satish, I think I'll speak from a practical perspective as to the questions that a user has usually when they look at a tool like this. So, if I am using the Exterro's tool or feature for smart personal data inventory, does it mean that my ROPA requirements will be fully met, or do I still have to do some kind of manual process to collect information that the tool does not support or the tool would not be able to integrate with?
So if you take Extro's ROPA application, so we have a team of researchers who keeps on updating the software with a lot of research. So they go and research on different regulations, and based on that, the system is constantly getting updated, right? So if you're able to complete the ROPA exercise within the Extro's smart personal data inventory, yeah, pretty much that would help you to comply with all the regulations. Yeah, there wouldn't be any manual work that you need to do apart from the system.
Right. So I think with here, I'll also talk a bit about the importance of data privacy. I think as data privacy professionals, our intention is usually to build the program and also to make sure that legal compliance is achieved. So looking at data privacy from an angle of a privacy professional, don't just look at legal compliance because it's mandatory, but you also have to look at how exactly can you use privacy as a business enabler rather than something that is stopping you from your marketing and sales activities. So you will have to look at privacy, make sure that it can be imbibed in your business processes and leverage it to build your business and grow with it, right? Having said that, some of the common benefits or importance of data privacy that we see is it helps with personal security and identity protection. In a country like India, identity fraud is very, very common. You would see a lot of people who would mostly get into some kind of identities that are posted in on the public web or identities that are copied and used for financial gain as well. And in India, it's a huge issue where you are getting a lot of calls around identity thefts, or maybe calls from your relatives, calls from people pretending to be your relatives, right? And they are looking at exploiting different vulnerabilities in your infrastructure as well as vulnerabilities in your privacy program. So the Indian Data Protection Act aims to protect people, aims to give rights to data subjects, and at the same time helps you build that robust data privacy program. And looking at understanding the smart personal data inventory, so Mr. Satish had already given you an overview as to how does it exactly fit into your infrastructure and would it support the Article 30 of the GDPR as well as requirements under the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of India. So usually how we do a ROPA, or how we conduct an activity to understand the personal data inventory, is through stakeholder discussions. And this is a manual approach where we look at different stakeholders from different processes or process owners of different business units. We have a discussion, we understand the flow of the process and the flow of personal data within that process. And in those cases, I think a lot of details are usually missed out because either the process owner is not available or aware of the technical requirements around the flow of data, or there are a few process areas that they are not fully aware of. Right. In those cases, the ROPA is definitely there, but it is not as accurate as it would be from an automated scan through your entire infrastructure, where it is fetching personal data and creating that data mapping for you. So, Mr. Satish, if you can also stress some more into what exactly it looks like. I think we have a few slides towards the end where we will talk about the product a bit more and what it looks like and how exactly can it be integrated. And at the same time, Mr. Satish, I would pass it over to you again, if you can help people understand about some features around the product too.
Yeah. So so talking about the features of the product or the capabilities or the business benefits that the product offers. Yeah, it comes up with the centralized data inventory where we have integrations with your asset management systems, where you can go and detect all the data sources or all the systems that are currently in use, and you can start building that inventory. And also it has the capability to scan the inventory and find out all the sensitive data and who has access to all this data. And also, if you look at it, it's a real-time system, right? So you would be able to schedule periodic scans. So the data inventory keeps updating at regular intervals. So this is one part of it. Another part is basically the regulatory research, right? So our biggest advantage is that how do you get the insights and combine that with the regulatory requirements, right? So that's the biggest advantage. So once you have that inventory built, it can automatically tell, okay, these are all the different regulations that apply for this data. And also it gives it ready-made templates which you can complete that way. You can generate your regulatory reports, and also it can help you to comply with the different regulations.
We have covered the benefits, we have covered the importance of data privacy, and I think the agenda that we have to look at is, of course, the tool. Before which, I'll just quickly give everyone an overview, just a reminder of the journey that we have taken as a part of data privacy in India. So a lot of buzz was around the digital bill that came up in 2022, which was withdrawn. It came up in 2019, and everything started from the Sri Krishna committee back in 2017 by the Swami judgment that came in, which also approved data privacy as a fundamental right in India. We, of course, had the IT Act, we had the SPDI rules, but we didn't have anything specific to talk about data privacy in India and look at data privacy. And that's the kind of journey that we have taken over the last few years. So I think it's a fantastic space to be in at this moment. We are seeing a lot of developments and a lot of tools or products that are being introduced in the market to also cater to the requirements of the Act. Now, Mr. Satish, I will pass it over to you again. If you can just give everyone a walkthrough of the flow of the tool and the product and what it would look like.
Right. So this is a data inventory tool, right? So you have, so this is where we generate the list of all your applications and systems that you are using currently. And this is where, yeah, you would be able to run your scans and generate this data inventory. In addition to it, you would be able to provide the key information, right? So where the application is posted, and yeah, pretty much once the scan is complete, all these data elements will be updated. But if you want to have enter the elements manually as well, yeah, you would be able to do it. So this is where it starts, right? So basically, you start from your application inventory, and this is where you have your ROPA. So say, for example, you have a processing activity called hiring new employees. And yeah, so this is one of the template, right? So yeah, obviously you'll be able to modify the template. This is one of the default template that we provide as a part of the system. So basically what you can do is, yeah, so you can just link an application against this processing activity. So once you link this application against a processing activity, so from the data inventory, system can automatically populate a lot of these elements, right? So for example, you have LinkedIn and Dayforce against this processing activity. System can automatically give you an indication of, okay, what are all the different data subjects that are part of this application? What are the locations of the data subjects? And what are the different data elements that are collected from the data subjects? And who are the data recipients and all of that? Yeah, in case if you want to add manually, yeah, that also you can do it, right? So yeah, system provides both the capabilities. And yeah, so pretty much you can also assign the purpose of processing for this processing activity. So if you look at it, we have done a lot of research, and you would find that system comes loaded with a lot of out of the box purpose of processing. Yeah, this is all the research work that comes out of the box. So that way, yeah, you'll be able to quickly pick and choose the appropriate purpose of processing. And also you'd be able to record the lawful basis, right? And again, the lawful basis could differ based on different jurisdictions or where the privacy regulation is in effect. So at every jurisdiction level, yeah, you would be able to assign a lawful basis, and as well as you can define the retention period as well, right? So because the regulation, most of the regulations, if you look at it, they tell that you can retain data only for the necessary period, right? So you'll be able to capture the retention period as well. And yeah, pretty much you can define all the processes and controllers of this processing activity. And also you'd find that since we are capturing the hosting location and also the location of the data subjects and all of that, system pretty much gives you the data transfers. It says that, okay, data is transferring from Algeria to Austria and from Alberta to California. And this is where you also find the transfer mechanism, right? So you can designate the appropriate transfer mechanism. Here also, if you look at it, system comes with the default loaded values, choices. You can pick and choose the appropriate choices. And here, yeah, you would be able to apply the appropriate technical organization measures. And because of the measures, what are the mitigated risks and benefits to individuals, right? And yeah, system pretty much gives you the data flow diagrams as well. So in addition to it, yeah, system also has an assessment capability, right? So you'll be able to run assessments on the top of the processing activities. You can run PAA, you can run DPAA, you can run vendor risk assessments if you want, right? So again, all these assessments are configurable. System comes with, again, based on our research, system comes with the default template, and you can modify your template as well. Yeah, and actually, this is where you would find all our research work, right? So yeah, so if you look at different, we have a set of default data elements, and against each regulation, we have mapped, okay, which element is sensitive, which element is not sensitive. Even against GDPR, you would find that which data subjects are vulnerable, which data subjects are not vulnerable, and all of that. Yeah, so this is a high level overview of what the tool has to offer. Yeah. And also,
right, perfect. Yeah. So I'll also talk a bit about the different mappings that we have done in terms of the tool with the requirements of the Indian Digital Data Protection Act. So just give me a moment while I share my screen again. So if you can look at the different sections, and I believe you can see my screen as well. So the different sections are basically from the DPDPA directly, and the tool or the product that Exterro offers as a smart personal data inventory is directly catering to these requirements as well, right? For example, the general obligations of data fiduciary, Mr. Satish also spoke about conducting data protection impact assessments, looking at the technical and organizational measures, looking at the policies that also map to the obligations of data fiduciary. And then, of course, the Indian Act has a significant data fiduciary concept. So what are the additional obligations of the significant data fiduciary can also be complied to by the product and can also be mapped there directly. Then we also had a feature which spoke about specifically data subject rights. So the right to access information about personal data. Similarly, the other rights that are provisioned under the Act can also be catered to by the feature that is provided in the tool. So a lot of these features, a lot of the requirements under the Act have been coming out from different data privacy laws across the world. And with consent being as the crucial component on which the Act is revolving around, we can see that the additional requirements around processing or record of processing activities or data protection impact assessment is something that is still being covered. Right. And I think cookie consent is, of course, a feature that would also be provisions. Mr. Satish, we want to shed some light on that.
Yeah, we also have we also provide cookie scanning product, but yeah, that's not a part of smart personal data inventory. That's a separate product, yeah. But obviously, we have that product where we can scan all the cookies in the website, and we can generate the report for you. Yeah, that we can do.
Great. So, Mr. Satish, I think if you can also speak a bit about Exterro Inc. and probably the footprint that you have across the world. And I think one additional factor that you can probably also share is where do you have your data centers across the world, right? Because if you're going for a hybrid model, that's a question that customers or users definitely have. So where do you have data centers across the globe, as well as a bit about Exterro Inc.?
Yeah, so Exterro Inc. So we are headquartered in USA. So we have 8 global offices in USA, UK, Germany, and in India. So in India, we are located in Chennai and Coimbatore. So overall, we have 1,000 plus staffs who are distributed globally. And so basically, we work with the government customers and government agencies, law enforcement agencies, and as well as with the corporate customers as well. And also in USA, we are an alliance partner of ACC. And in the past 3 years, Exterro has completed 3 major acquisitions, right? So Jordan Lawrence is one of the privacy and governance software provider located in USA. We acquired Jordan Lawrence, and Access Data is pretty much a digital forensics, and Zebroot is e-discovery. So we have completed 3 major acquisitions in the last 3 years. And coming to the data centers question, yeah, so pretty much we are posted in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Right? So wherever they have data centers, yeah, we'll be able to quickly spin up a data center. It could be in USA, it could be in Europe, or it could be in China, or it could be in Canada. So whichever may be the location, yeah, quickly we'll be able to spin up the centers. And so talking about Indian operations of Exterro, so we have offices in Coimbatore and Chennai, and we have 400 plus employees in India. And also we are a proud partner of Make in India campaign by the government. And almost if you look at it, so 80% of our products are developed in India. So even if you look at all the privacy products, it's all developed in India. And also we are a tier 1 supplier under MIA initiatives.
Right. I just wanted to add on a point that we as Tsaaro are also a made in India company. We are primarily based out of India as well, and looking forward with the Indian wave of technology development across the world, right? So that's perfectly great that we are pretty much aligned into the made in India concept and the make in India concept, Mr. Satish. Right. So I think if you can also help people understand as to the range of services that Exterro has, because privacy is, of course, one suite or one critical area that you support. But apart from that, you also have presence in the digital forensic space, e-discovery, cybersecurity compliance. So if you can just give an overview as to the range of services that you offer.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So if you look at it, Exterro offers Exterro is a broader legal GRC platform. So Exterro offers e-discovery, privacy, digital forensics, and cybersecurity. So e-discovery, in the sense, the system is capable of connecting to different data repositories in response to a litigation, and it allows the corporations to find out all the data that is relevant to the litigation, do a review, and export the data to the courts. That's what we do in e-discovery. And digital forensics, pretty much we work with a lot of corporations and as well as with law enforcement agencies, right? So law enforcement, in the sense, if there is any crimes such as terrorism, robbery, and our digital forensics tool set helps the law enforcement agencies to analyze the evidence, generate reports, and all of that. And also it helps corporations as well from a breach response perspective. It helps organizations to do an investigations once the breach happens. and it also helps with measures of how to mitigate the breach. Yeah, and for coming to privacy, yeah, we have a broader solutions starting from discovery, inventory, DSR, breach response, consent management, policy management modules, and all of that. And from a cybersecurity compliance, yeah, pretty much, so if you look at all other offerings, such as forensics and privacy, you would find that, we have a breach response product, and also it helps you to analyze whenever a breach happens. And also we have one interesting product called Smart Breach Review. So whenever there is a breach, it can automatically go and detect where the breach happened. It can automatically generate the data map as well. So these are the additional services that Exterro provides apart from privacy. And yeah, we work with a lot of market segments. We work with corporations, we work with law firms, we work with governments, right? And also we work with service providers, law enforcement, and all of that.
So if you wish to connect, you can connect with us on LinkedIn. And if a question pops up sometime in the future, you can definitely, connect with us and ask that question. Great. So I think with that, we are good to close this session. And I would like to thank everyone and Mr. Satish and the extended Exterro team for organizing this and helping us share our thoughts and insights to all the data. So huge thank you for everyone. And I wish you the best. If you have any questions, you can reach out to either of us. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Satish, again for the demo.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.